Tila naiipit na nga si General Torre matapos nga nitong muntik ilaglag si President Bongbong Marcos na di umano'y nag-utos sa kanya upang ipatapon si former President Rodrigo Duterte sa Netherlands. Ngayong araw nga ay hindi na nakatiis si President Bongbong Marcos at ipinaalam na nito sa publiko na wala siyang kinalaman sa paghuli kay Digong. Sinabi din nito na wag umano siyang idamay ni Torre sa pinasok nitong gulo. Narito panuurin ang video kung paano nagkabistuhan.
Yes, General Torre. Bakit siya kinaladkad? Hindi namin maintindihan.
As Attorney Delga has himself admitted, sinasabi niya may medical emergency, may mga opinion ng doctors niya, which is contrary to the opinion of our doctors. And I think we can put that to rest already na walang medical emergency because the President himself, before he landed on the plane, made a video, sent to her daughter, posted on the internet, saying that he's okay. So, I think talagang ngayon, nasubstantiate natin.
Hindi ang pasyente nagsasabi noon, ang doktor ko. Na personal choice, by the way.
Nasubstantiate natin, ma'am,
army doctor.
na wala nga talagang medical emergency. And
Balik
you have the
tayo kay
hindsight
Attorney Delgra.
of a 2020 vision. 2020.
Okay lang yung collateral damage, yung mga katabi ni Presidente Duterte. Okay lang na saktan, arestuhin, na walang kasalanan yung mga katabi at nandyan para lang sumuko si PRRD.
Ma'am, I do believe that everything that I did during the time are all within the ambit of the law. Kung ngayon, kung may mga taong gusto magreklamo at ireklamo ako, I can answer them on the proper forum if they file the appropriate charges in court. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Attorney Delgra, did you think you were going to be the next to be arrested? Ang sinabi ninyo kasi ang sinabi ni General Torre nung nakaraang hearing, nung first hearing, you are going to arrest Attorney Delgra. Tama po?
After I arrested A.S. Mijaldea, ma'am, when I came back to the room, I told him, you're the next. So he stepped out and then left PRRD and PRRD said, let's go.
Tinakot mo na, bakit hindi mo inaresto si Attorney Delgra?
He already stopped preventing me from doing my job. So, umalis na siya.
How
There's
was
no
he
need for me.
preventing you? Hindi namin makita sa video, Attorney Delgra. You stopped preventing him. What exactly were you doing that prevented him?
Perhaps if I may recall, just a few minutes before that, Madam Chair, sinabi ni General Torre na inaresto niya na si E.S. Mijaldea. At ako na yung susunod. Sa totoo lang, pagkatapos niya, and then eventually, 5 minutes thereafter, sumunod na si former President. And which is not true. Kasi pagkatapos ng umalis na si E.S. Mijaldea, nagbanta pa si General Torre na hihilain ko yan. I was still there beside the President. And actually, I did not left the side of the President. I was pulled out by one of the PNP personnel away from the President. And that's shortly thereafter, few seconds thereafter, they were able to secure the body of the former President. Andun na, maraming mga PNP na who surrounded the former President. And that was when I realized that they were able to secure the former President. And I realized then that he would now be brought to The Hague, as what General Torre has been telling us throughout the day that he will do it.
So, obstruction of justice ang sinasabi ninyo tungkol kay Attorney Delgra at kay E.S. Mijaldea, pero hindi na inaresto si Attorney Delgra. Tama po ba? Kasi sumakay na si PRRD sa eroplano.
Yes, ma'am.
Kung tutuusin, hindi na kailangan magbuhat ng kamay, magkaladkad, hilain. Kasi sumama naman pala eh.
After I made it very, very clear that the escalation of yung aking pag-i-insist na sumunod sila sa aking sinasabi na sumakay si Presidente sa aeroplano, ay talagang nakita nilang desidido at determinado tayo doon. So,
desidido
in fairness
kayo
naman,
hanggang sa nananakot kayo, nagbabanta kayo, nanghihila na kayo, physical na yung hawak ninyo.
For whatever it's worth, ma'am, wala namang umabot. And I would like to give credit to Attorney Delgra and to the former President na hindi na umabot sa ganong level sapagkat sila naman ay sumunod na, si former president ay sumunod na at sumakay sa eroplano after all those things happened.
Pero napakaliwanag sa ating revised penal code, sa obstruction of justice, napakaliwanag rin sa manual ng PNP na dapat walang force, violence, threat, intimidation, or other means to vitiate the free will of the arrested person. So, bawal pa rin yun, di ba, sa manual ninyo? Bawal talaga yung paggagamit ng dahas, pananakot, pambabanta. Bawal yun eh.
Ma'am, the word there is reasonable force. Ang bottom line ng context ng lahat ng yan ay reasonable force. Kaya
Was it reasonable given that Attorney Delgra was just sitting there and saying that Article 59 should apply? Bawal ba magsalita?
tapos na yung panahon na yun, ma'am, ng pagkipag-argumento. Sinabi ko rin sa kanila dyan, ma'am, kung hindi nila sinabi dyan sa...
Yun ang nagbigay ng taning. Ba't nagmamadali?
Sa mga video na
palagay ko ang mga karapatan walang taning.
Ang sabi ko nga dyan, ma'am, is, again, I will reiterate it to this forum, hindi ito ang lugar para tayo makipag-argumento sa batas. Ito ay panahon na ini-implement namin ang warrant at dapat sumakay na si PRRD sa eroplano. Kung may reklamo kayo, asuntuhin nyo na lang kami. And again, I would like to reiterate that standpoint na I do believe personally that everything that I did was within the ambit of the law, and kung may magreklamo man, kung may mga tao mga nasaktan, they are always welcome to file the appropriate charges in the proper forum, and so that we can discuss about it.
Sa anumang pamamaraan, basta maaresto mo. Parang ganun ang sinasabi.
As long as there is reasonable force, we use reasonable force. And yun nga sinasabi namin kung andito si Senator Bato, alam yan, lecture yan ang force continuum. Yun ang basically force continuum is the one that mandates yung
force continuum mo palapad ng palawak. Sabi ko, di ba sabi mo, ang mission mo, arestuhin lang ang dating Pangulo. Bakit pati si E.S. Medialdea, si Attorney Delgra, hindi naman bahagi ng mission mo yon? Di ba escalation na to ng mission? Lumawak na lang ng lumawak. Pati yung iba, dinamay-damay na wala namang kinalaman doon. Inaresto na, kinaladkad na, tinakot na. Tama ba yun?
Nakita nyo naman, ma'am, si Attorney Delgra palang hinawakan ko, bigla lang pumasok na si Kitty. Lalo na siguro pag andyan sila at pinatayo na ang presidente at dahil na sa plane. Ako naman,
General, sasabihin nyo sa akin, takot ka sa babae.
Escalation of force lang, ma'am, ang tama lang namin. Tama
kahit
lang
sa
na
babae?
Yung appropriate force lang. Yung appropriate force lang. O delikado
hindi naman
ma'am.
Si PRRD yan Hindi naman yan ang mission order mo. Mission order mo si PRRD, hindi lahat ng kalakip na kalapit niya.
Anyway, ma'am, as I said, we'll just, kung may mga gustong magreklamo doon na sa tingin nila ay nalabag ang kanilang mga karapatang pantao, we committed mistakes,
may edad na rin si Attorney Delgra, may sakit si E.S. Medialdea, tignan mo naman yung nakaharap sa kanila. Kaya ba nilang pigilan kayong mga pulis na arestuhin si PRRD kung ninais ninyo? Tignan naman ninyo itsura. Yes. Di ba, libo-libo yan Ang pinagmalaki pa, 7,000 ang handa.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, they were successful in preventing us from taking custody of the president for 10 hours. Nung in-escalate na lang namin at inalis na namin sila sa scene, saka pa lang namin nagawa ang aming misyon.
Pinagbawalan kami mag-contempt at sinabihan kami na wag na lang. Kaya hahayaan ko na lang kahit labo-labo yung kwento po ninyo. Magtiisan po tayo, pero hindi talaga ako natutuwa dahil hindi nagsasabi ng totoo at iba-iba yung sagot. Napakahirap ng ganito. Dumating nga kayo. Hindi naman pala handa magsabi ng katotohanan. Punta na natin na yung hindi napunta nun dati, Prosecutor Fadulion, nabanggit ni Attorney Delgra yung Article 59. At sinabi ng DOJ, paulit-ulit, na the Rome Statute does not apply. Prosecutor Fadulion seems to think otherwise. Your March 12 certification repeated it not once but twice. And I'd like to know, when did you issue that certification, which is dated March 12, but which you now say is a mistake?
It was issued on March 12, 2025, Madam Chair.
Sorry?
March 12, 2025, in the afternoon.
So you issued it on March 12. Hindi ba dapat bago ma-aresto?
No, ma'am. The certification is supposed to attest to the fact that the DOJ was there to ensure that the arrest of the former president was done without his rights being violated. We were there. We were personally present when the arrest
Yes,
was made.
nakita namin sa video.
Opo. So, ito pong certification ay pinagawa po dahil sa kakailanganin daw po ito sa pagdala kay former president or pag-receive sa kanya pagdating po doon sa Hague. That was the reason why
Hindi namin maintindihan kasi March 12 na umaksyon yung DOJ samantalang sinasabi ni Secretary Remulla kanina na siya nag-order. Paano nagkaganon? Yung order nahuli pa sa March 12, yung aresto March 11.
Let me clarify, Madam Chair. The certification is supposed to certify to the fact that the former president was arrested, and his date of arrest was on March 11, 2025. Now, erroneously, it was indicated there as March 12, 2025. The certification that we will be presenting to you later was prepared in the afternoon of March 12 to certify and attest to the fact that the former president had in fact been arrested on March 11, 2025. And this was sent to Ambassador Lacanilao for the purpose of him presenting it when the president reached The Hague.
Okay, we've read the...
Para po makumpleto po or to, how would I say it, to cover all bases that all the requirements that were needed were actually complied with.
yung pala mismo yung ating prosecutor, sinasabi yung Article 59 will apply. Bakit dinisregard ninyo, General Torre, nung isinisigaw ni Attorney Delgra yung Article 59? Parang sinabi ninyo na it does not apply, tuloy-tuloy pa rin kayo at binaliwala ninyo yung pakiusap niya yung Article 59.
I always refer the legal issues to the DOJ.
No, nandun ka na eh. Andun na si Attorney Delgra, nakikisuyo na yung Article 59 will apply. Ibig sabihin, magkaroon ng counsel, dalhin sa korte na Pilipino, at yung iba pang mga patakaran na nakasaad dun sa Article 59. Sinasabi na nga nung abogado, sinabi pati ng DOJ ngayon, bakit binaliwala mo?
That is something that I cannot decide on at that time, ma'am, and the DOJ is there. I refer everything to them. I defer to their legal opinion. And the order has not changed. The order is still bring the president to the plane that will bring him to The Hague.
So yung Article 59, hindi ninyo alam yon. Sa madaling sabi.
I know that it is a legal question, ma'am. That's why I refer it to the DOJ. That's something that I will not decide upon.
I don't see you referring to anyone. Nakita ko talagang sabi nga ninyo, diskarte na ninyo yon kasi nandun ka, ikaw yung lead officer. Di dapat desisyonan mo na. Wala ka namang sinasabi doon na talagang i-refer mo na natin sa DOJ. Hindi ka na mahuminto ng ganon. Basta tuloy-tuloy ka lang. Parang binaliwala mo nga yung sabing Article 59. Bakit ganon?
There's no change in order at that time, ma'am. So the mission is still the same. Bring the president to The Hague through
Madam
that
Chair.
plane.
Yes, Senator Bato, please.
He has been telling all the time, telling this committee that the order did not change. Kaya nga, pinaklaro ko dito, yung order na yan galing kay Chief PNP. No? Nadalhin talaga siya sa The Hague. Did it ever cross your mind na mag-isip-isip ka? Itong order na ito, legal ba ito? Am I not violating any provision of the Constitution, yung ginagawa kong ito? Kung sinusunod ko itong order na ito?
Since the time up to this point, sir, that question never crossed my mind that this could be illegal. First and foremost, the DOJ team is with me. The Prosecutor General is with me. The Chief of the Philippine National Police is with me. So I don't think there's any reason for me to have any doubt on the legality of the order.
How about yung violation sa Bill of Rights na ginawa ninyo?
Again, sir, the DOJ is with me, the Chief PNP is with me, so I really don't have any reason to believe on the or question the legality of the order, sir. So I do believe up to this point, since we started this operation, that
Pero
everything that we
dinig na
did
dinig
is within the
namin.
bounds of the law.
Naku,
Continue.
General Torre, dinig na dinig namin, paulit-ulit si Attorney Delgra, Article 59. At nalilito kami, ba't hindi mo tinawagan yung DOJ? Teka, may Article 59 na sinasabi. Abogado ka ba?
Ma'am, speaking of the DOJ, Attorney Fadulion, the Prosecutor General, was there.
Nandun kayo at sinagot ninyo yung sinisigaw ni Attorney Delgra na Article 59 ng Rome Statute po.
We were there, Madam Chair, and we heard everything. Pero if I may be allowed po to put things in proper context, kasi yung tinitingnan po nating video is just a portion or a snippet of what actually happened.
Tagal na po namin iniintay yung buo pero wala namang ibinibigay.
Ma'am, hindi po. Maari po siguro nating hingin yan dun sa mga kapulisan because meron naman po sila mga body-worn cameras the whole time that the incident...
Matagal na po namin iniintay at hinihingi.
At any rate po, ma'am, if I may, yun nga po, yung nakikita po nating video at ang ipinapakita po ay isang portion lamang po nung nangyari nung buong araw na yon. Now, yung sinasabi po ninyo na if si General Torre exerted unreasonable force, it was not, if you look at that video on its face, kung yun lamang po, it would appear that way. But if you look at how it escalated from the time that they were brought there up until the time that the arrest was effected, you will understand, or we will all begin to understand what it is that actually transpired. Hindi naman po yan sabihin natin na pagpasok po o tuwing pumapasok si General Torre, namimwersa o nananakot o nagbabanta. Marami pong beses at saksi ho kami doon sa pangapakiusap at pagpapasensya ni General Torre the entire time that the warrant was being effected.
Sinasabi po ninyo, Prosecutor Fadulion, naubos na yung pasensya, kaya wala nang karapatan.
Hindi ko po sinasabing naubos yung pasensya. At
Parang ganun kasi sabi, gabi na ang tagal na
yun ho yung perspective ni General Torre. Pero sinasabi ko po, from an observer's point of view who was there, yung proseso po ay sinunod at mahaba hong panahon ang pinadaan bago po tayo dumating dun sa punto na kinailangan ng gawin ni General Torre na siguro pagsabihan at nung hindi sumunod ay pinusasan si former E.S. Medialdea at para lamang po maihiwalay sila kay former President Duterte na yun ang kanila pong gustong makuha. Kasi po, hindi po nakikita ron na sinasabi natin, tumayo lamang naman, naglagay lang naman ng upuan. Hindi po ganun ang nangyari.
Yun ang nakikita sa video
Exactly,
Wala
ma'am.
namang ginamit na dahas, wala namang sigawan, wala namang pagbabanta.
Yes, but
Hindi naman tumulak.
prior to that, Madam Chair, there were instances when the things that sina General Torre wanted to do were being impeded. So, I would understand also from the perspective of General Torre, he had a mission that he had to implement and accomplish. He could not do it because of the so many dilatory tactics that were employed. So dumating po dun sa punto na nagkainitan at maintindihan ko rin po na kung kailangan pusasan, dahil po hindi naman ho yun ang ultimate na objective niya. Nakiusap ho muna. Nung hindi po sumagot o tumugod dun sa pakiusap, dun na po umabot sa punto na kailangan na pong pusasan.
If I may, Madam Chair.
Pagkatapos sa posasan, ay sino po yun? Yes, sa Attorney Delgra. Matapos posasan, rinilis naman. Tapos sinakay sa eroplano, nagtataka ako paano nagkaganon. Ang gulo So, Attorney Delgra, please.
Yes po, Madam Chair. I take exception to the statement PD Padalion. Yung phrase na it's beyond my pay grade, I heard it from him. I heard it from General Torre and Yusek Nicolas T, whom the first time I met him was inside Villamor Air Base. I also talked to him separately. At I appealed to him. Nakikita niyo muna kung anong ginagawa ni General Torre sa ating presidente. Disrespecting the president, tinatakot, no? We will do it the hard way or the easy way. We have invoking the medical emergency. We have invoking Article 59. At palagi yung sinasabi nitong tatlo, na it's beyond their pay grade. Tell me it is not true, Prosecutor General Padulyon, that you told me that.
Prosecutor,
And then
please.
I asked you, whom will I talk to make sense of all what's happening inside Villamor Air Base? You cannot even tell me the name or any name for that matter na pwede kong kausapin.
May I
And that's the
respond?
reason why I take exception to what he's saying. And to say that may dilatory tactic, alas 2 ng hapon, 3 hours after we arrived there, the plane was not yet ready. So there was no delaying tactic.
Yes, Prosecutor, would you like to respond to Attorney Delgra, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Attorney Delgra did approach me and asked me if I could ask if it would be arranged that the former president be brought to the veterans. Yun po ang pinakiusap niya sa akin. Pero ang sinabi ko po sa kanya, susubukan ko pong itanong, pero wala po yan. Hindi ko po desisyon yan. Dahil ang trabaho po ng Department of Justice doon ay para po tiyakin na ang karapatan ng dating Pangulo ay maprotektahan. Okay? It is incorrect to say that there were no dilatory tactics. Kasi from the very start po, pagdating ng eroplano, nandun pa lang ho sa tube, nagsabi na po sa amin na hindi po sila lalabas kung halimbawa pong wala silang kopya ng warrant. So nang nakuha na ho yung kopya ng warrant, lumabas na po sila at dinala po sila doon sa 250th at kung saan sila pinagpahinga. Nandun na po si Attorney Delgra at that time. There were demands for doctors to be there. PNP had brought in their own doctors. Ang nagiging problema po kasi doon, Madam Chair, is that hindi po pinahihintulutan yung doktor ng PNP na i-counter-check yung findings po ng doktor ng
Nako,
dating Pangulo.
Prosecutor, alam naman ninyo, physician choice ng arrested, hindi ba? Nung
Yes,
tao.
yes, ma'am.
Hindi naman miski sinong doktor, hihatakin mo. Tapos
Hindi po namin sinasabi na ipinagbabawal o hindi ho pinapahintulutan yung dating...
Nagbawal. 3-4 na oras bago pumasok. Pinaliwanag ni Senator Bongo, nag-iintay sila sa labas.
Hindi ma'am, meron ho nakarating na doktor doon right after, I don't know if it was just before lunch or right after lunch. That's as much as I know. Okay? Pero yung sabihin po na wala hong dilatory tactics, sa dami ho ng pakiusap, magmula nung basahan ni General Torre, si dating Pangulo, marami hong pakiusap na mag-uusap po kasama ang mga abogado. And this happened 2 or 3 times already. Of course, we cannot make decisions also on the requests as far as veterans is concerned.
Bakit po kayo may deadline?
Wala po kaming deadline, ma'am.
Sabi mo, matagal ni.
No, ang sinasabi ko ho, ma'am, is that matagal, yung nakikita natin sa video ay kakapraso lamang. Kung titingnan po natin yung kabuuan na kung ano nangyari, malalaman po natin kung bakit nag-escalate o naging ganun po ang pagtrato o pag-handle ni General Torre nung inaresto niya si E.S. Medialdea.
May deadline ba o may time frame ang pag-aaresto?
Wala naman pong deadline, kaya lamang po ang tawag nito, the former president was already placed under arrest. General Torre had his orders to have him boarded on the plane. And I think that was the one that he was trying to make sure that he was able to implement that particular time. A lot of time had already passed since the time na nabasahan po. And it was only around 10 o'clock or past 10 o'clock when it was actually implemented.
Naguguluhan lang kami kasi sinabi ni General Torre, we are going. Unang-una, ma'am, ang reglementary period. Mamalasin naman kami kung hindi namin ginawa ang trabaho namin. Despite your stance na hindi ito warrantless arrest, may warrant kayo. Kaya tatanungin ko na naman si General Torre, please, para maliwanagan tayo, ba't kayo nagmamadali na dalhin sa Hague? At mababiolate ninyo yung Article 125 of the RPC. Ang ibig ba sabihin nun, warrantless arrest ang ginawa natin?
Ma'am, thank you very much for giving me that chance to clarify that 125 statement. Ang nakalagay, ma'am, sa arrested person and with a warrant, deliver to the judicial authority without delay. Yeah. So, ang sa akin, ma'am, is wala lang tayong yardstick.
Anong po yung binabasa ninyo?
We're stating
yung
that...
Article 125, puro warrantless lang.
Yes, ma'am.
Ano yung reglementary period? Pag warrantless lang, pag may warrant, hindi ganun.
Pag may warrant, ma'am, is to deliver to the judicial authority that issued that warrant without delay talaga yan, ma'am. So, wala akong yardstick kung paano ko i-define
pero
without delay.
Walang panahon, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Walang reglementary period.
Yes, ma'am.
So, sinasabi ninyo na nung first hearing na sinasabi ninyo may reglementary period, tama
hindi
po
reglementary
ba yun?
period, ma'am. Ginawa lang natin...
Sinabi mo mamalasin tayo pag hindi natin ginawa yung trabaho sa reglementary period. Nanggaling sa iyo eh. Nagulat nga ako
That could be a misstatement that I really thank you for giving me the chance to clarify. Because yung statement sa mga warrant, sa implementation ng warrant, ma'am,
kasi tinanong pa kita anong reglementary period? Nagulat ako eh. Anong period yon? Tapos sabi mo, Article 125. Nasa transcript po natin, page 205. Arian. So anong kaya ang tama ngayon? Bakit tayo nagmamadali kung wala naman deadline? Ito ay arrest with a warrant. Desisyonan na po natin. Naku, Senator Bato, pampresinto na ito. Palagay ko, hindi naman pang general itong mga topic na to. Lalo na yung CIDG pa. You know very well ang Article 125 does not apply to arrests with warrants. Di ba? So, either nagsisinungaling or nag-iiwas. Ano ba talaga? General Torre, please sagutin po ninyo, warrantless arrest ba to na may reglementary period? Or arrest with warrant pero nagmamadali kayo dahil sa isang dahilan na hindi masabi.
Am I going to answer, ma'am? You're asking me a question? Because I'm saying a while ago, and I think I was cut in the middle of the explanation, that I'm using that 125 just as a yardstick on how to I will look at the requirement of unreasonable. There's no reasonable delay supposedly.
Sabi po ninyo, mamalasin tayo. Ayan mo, mamalasin. Did you
without
do that?
delay, which I did. Ang nagbigay ng warrant, ma'am, ay ang ICC. So hindi man tayo nag-cooperate sa ICC, but we are cooperating with the Interpol. So we assisted the Interpol in implementing the warrant. And dapat dalhin siya sa judicial authority.
Senator Bato, please.
Alam mo, General Torre, masyadong hirap intindihin yung kuan mo, yung justification mo. Hindi tayo nagko-cooperate sa ICC, pero nag-cooperate sa Interpol. Anong basis ng Interpol, di ba, ang warrant ng ICC? So kung hindi mo na-recognize yung ICC, bakit mo sinunod yung pakiusap ng Interpol? Sabi mo, hindi nyo na-recognize yung ICC.
Sir, for that
bakit
question...
mo sinunod yung request ng Interpol na napakadali lang naman sabihin mo na, sorry, Interpol, we cannot implement that because we do not recognize the jurisdiction of ICC over this country.
Sir, may I? Sir Senator, ang problema ho kasi dyan, 9851 refers to an international tribunal, not necessarily the ICC. So, for us to surrender him to an international tribunal is within the bounds of the law. Ang nangyari po kasi dito, nag-withdraw po tayo sa ICC.
Very clear sinabi mo.
Nag-withdraw po tayo sa ICC, pero hindi po natin nirepeal yung 9851. Kaya ho, andun pa rin po yung kamandag na 9851 para maging basis po ng arrest. Pero kung nag-withdraw tayo sa ICC at nirepeal natin ang 9851, wala po tayong problema. In the same way, na kung hindi tayo nag-withdraw sa ICC, entitled po sa extradition process ang presidente. Pero dahil nawala na po yung treaty with the ICC, ay hindi na po entitled sa extradition process. So yun po talaga yung nangyayari dito.
Kaya nga, you keep on citing RA 9851.
51.
Palagi mong sinasabi yan ang basis mo. Pero very clear naman na yung sinunod mo, yung ginawa ninyo ay binayulit ninyo yung konstitusyon. Ay, sabi mo kanina, kung may conflict ang konstitusyon at saka yung statutory law natin, nagpe-prevail ang konstitusyon, bakit hindi nyo naisip na sundin ang konstitusyon? Binayulit yung Bill of Rights.
Yung 9851 po kasi, nire-recognize nga po ng 9851 ang International Tribunal. Nire-recognize niya po eh. And it's something that was forgotten in the process of withdrawing from the ICC. Naiwan po yun eh. That's why that option remained for the government to surrender the former president. Pero kung hindi po tayo nag-withdraw sa ICC, ganun din po, he would have been entitled to Article 59 process of the judicial process. Iba-validate po sa court yung warrant.
Alam mo sir, ito ibabalik ko sa iyo yung sinasabi mo. In July 2023, you mentioned in one of your interviews that if the ICC will come to the Philippines, you will consider it as usurpation of authority of the Philippine government and violation of Philippine laws. What are the laws you have in mind during the interview that might be violated by the ICC?
Kasi pagpapasok ko sila rito at prepresahin nila mag-imbestiga, then they will be usurping the power of the DOJ. Or marami ho talaga mabaviolate na usurpation of authority po ang mangyayari dyan. Kaya nga, ano nga ang nangyayari po dito, ang ICC po ay hindi talaga ang kanilang kapangyarihan ay naiwan lamang sa individual at hindi po sa state. Hanggang ngayon po wala silang power over our state. Ang Pilipinas po ay hindi saklaw sa ICC. Dahil nag-withdraw po tayo sa ICC. Pero yun na rin po ang dahilan kung bakit ang Pangulong Duterte ay hindi po kayang i-invoke itong provision ng ICC tungkol sa Article 59 sapagkat nag-withdraw tayo sa ICC, so wala na ho tayong treaty with the ICC. So hindi na ho applicable yun sa atin.
Alam mo sir, ikaw pilit mong hinihiwalay, Madam Chair, yung tao at saka yung state. Di ba? Hinihiwalay mo palagi.
Opo. Kasi may ICJ po eh.
Can you define
kasi ang ICJ po for the state.
Sandali na sir. What is a state? Ano ang elements ng state? Di ba? Ang element ng state is territory, people, sovereignty, ano yung pang-apat? Government. Oh. So yan ang state. Ngayon, bakit mo ihiwala yung population? Diyan sa
kasi
state na yan.
wala hong power over government
walang state
natin.
kung wala population.
Wala hong power ang ICC over our government.
O kaya
kasi nga hindi na ho tayo, wala na ho tayong treaty eh.
Over our state.
Kasi nag-withdraw po si President Duterte sa ICC na wala na po ang pwede nilang gamitin na kinakailangan pong dumaan po sa korte dahil nga may treaty. Kaya nga hindi ma-invoke ang extradition eh. Yung nga ho yung naging dilemma rito. Yung naging gamot ay naging problema.
Bakit mo sinurrender? Kung hindi nga ma-extradite, isurrender mo
may
pa.
warrant of arrest po eh. May warrant of arrest po over the individual.
Sabi mo naman, hindi natin recognize yung jurisdiction ng ICC. Kung mag-issue sila ng warrant, bakit mo i-implement?
Alam niyo ho, we belong to a community of nations and mahirap na pong talikuran ng ating responsibilidad sa community of nations, especially that we have embraced international humanitarian law through Republic Act 9851.
Mahirap. Madam Chair.
Balikan na lang natin si General Torre. O kung okay, Senator Bato. Yes. Balikan natin kasi yung arrest with a warrant, you know very well na arrest with warrant yung sinasabi ninyo. Alin ba talaga, arrest with warrant o warrantless arrest? Asa na ba tayo? Nalito na ako. Di ko na
We have a warrant, ma'am.
Sorry?
We have a warrant.
You have a warrant. But nevertheless, meron kayong sinasabing reglementary period.
Ma'am, I'm just using it as a yardstick to define yung requirements sa arrest with warrant na delivery of the arrested person to the judicial authority na nag-issue ng warrant without undue delay.
But in reality po, that yardstick does not exist.
Yes, of course, ma'am.
Kasi wala naman deadline pag meron kang warrant, di ba?
I should have delivered him earlier, ma'am, actually, kung tutuusin.
Oh,
Kung
Bakit
hindi, lang ako,
earlier
ma'am,
pa?
kung hindi ako hinadlangan, ma'am, dapat nadala na kaagad yun sa eroplano.
ganun ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Ilan ang aarestuhin ninyo?
Isa lang naman, ma'am.
ES Medialdea,
Isa lang naman, ma'am.
sino-sino pa, si Attorney Delgra. What's the real reason then? Kung hindi naman, sinabi ninyo, hindi naman talaga warrantless arrest. Wala naman talagang reglementary period. May warrant kami galing ICC. What's the reason for the rush to The Hague na hindi man ninyo madala sa isang husgadong Pilipino?
As to the nuances of orders higher than
Wala namang order sa time limit eh.
on the
Ang
orders
sabi
given
lang,
to me.
i-aresto, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Wala namang sinasabi ngayon na, now na. Meron bang ganon?
I just executed the orders given to me, which is to arrest him and bring him to the plane that will bring him to the Hague,
Hindi
ma'am.
pa rin yan ang dahilan kung bakit kayo nagmamadali. Ang taas-taas ng blood sugar ng tao, may edad na. Nakikita naman na hilong-hilo na, natulog nga. Ba't nagmamadali-dalin sa Hague yan? Nadali na ninyo arestado na ninyo Ba't pa ninyong pinipilit na bumiyahe na kaagad-agad? What's the real reason? Kasi kung talagang reglementary period does not apply, yardstick lang, ano talaga yung totoong rason at wala nang iba? Di sana sinabi nyo nung unang pagdinig, malinaw naman na lahat ng simula noong unang pagdinig hanggang ngayon, pilit ninyong iniiwasan, sumagot ng totoo. Ano ba talaga yung dahilan na nagmamadali kayo?
Ma'am, I will reiterate my answers a while ago. The position that my mission is just bring him to the plane that will bring him to the Hague. As to the rush, if you consider it as rush,
It is a
I am
rush.
not in the
Kasi
I am
dapat
not
dadalhin
privy.
pa yan sa husgado, di ba?
That is your that is the
No,
if
that is the law, sir.
If that is the impression that was delivered to you, ma'am, ang sa akin lang is those are beyond my competence to answer. Kung sa tingin niyo rush yan, it's not rush. It's something that I have to do na talagang isakay lang sa plane because that is the order that was given to me. As to the other nuances of that order, I may not be able to answer that intelligently or competently.
Yes, baka may maidagdag si Ambassador Lacanilaw. Dahil nandun din kayo, may nakita ba kayo na dahilan kung bakit kailangan pumunta sa The Hague? Total, kayo ang madalas pumunta sa abroad at kinatawan ng Pilipinas. May dahilan ba kung bakit nagmamadali tayo?
Hindi po ako hindi po ako aware o competent para sagutin po yung ganon. Kasi ang sa akin naman ho, ang naging role ko lang yung nung nag-volunteer ako na samahan si former President Muta ICC.
Lahat tayo hindi alam ang dahilan kung bakit nung araw na yon kinailangan talaga isakay at dalhin sa Hague kahit may sakit, kahit may karapatan pumunta sa husgadong Pilipino, kahit hindi pa nakikita ang pamilya, ang doktor, ang abogadong pili, talagang kinakailangan dalhin na talaga sa The Hague.
Ambassador Lacanilaw, I find your answers very misleading Kanina pa, yung sinasabi mo na hindi mo alam na hindi pala siya dinala sa competent court, competent judicial authority. Hindi mo alam. Hanggang ngayon, hindi mo pa rin alam. I'm giving you a chance.
Opo, kung ano po yung Mr. Senator, kung ano po yung nabanggit ko kanina. Yun po.
Nandoon ka the whole time, galing sa tube hanggang doon sa Villamor. Nandoon ka. Hindi mo rin alam, hindi mo pa rin alam na hindi siya dinala sa judicial authority.
Yes, Mr. Senator.
Hindi mo alam.
Yes, Mr. Senator.
So you are lying. You're lying. Madam Chair, I move to cite in contempt Ambassador Lacanilaw.
Last chance, hindi mo alam if nilabas sa Villamor si PRRD? Hindi mo alam?
Hindi po, Madam Chair.
Okay, there's a motion to cite you in contempt. I have to affirm. There being no contrary motion, we uphold the motion to cite Ambassador Marcos Lacanilaw in contempt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm giving you the chance already kanina. Sabi ko nga, ayaw namin gamitin yung power to contempt dito, to cite in contempt, pero halata na nagsinungaling ka.
Nasa dokumento harap-harapan na po. Mahirap naman yung ganito, konting respeto po.
Again, may I clarify again, please? Ma'am, it's an extradition form. That's why the questions are answerable by another jurisdiction, but not our jurisdiction. So it's very hard to answer something that works in a different manner.
Hindi nga sir, ang tinatanong namin sa kanya is kung nandun mo siya the whole time, hindi man niya, alam niya na hindi dinala si President Duterte sa isang competent court. Tapos sabihin niya, hindi niya alam.
Kaya ho nag-suffice.
Siya nga nagsabi na siya nag-oversee sa operation. Tapos hindi niya alam na kung dinala o hindi.
I hope we can reconsider the contempt citing. Because, sir, kaya ho nag-suffice a certification of
Kanina
Prosecutor
pa kami
General.
nagre-reconsider, Secretary Boying.
Pero kaya ho nag-suffice sa ICC. Kaya tinanggap nila yung certification po ng DOJ is because under their system of government, under the system of the ICC, ang prosecutor is competent judicial authority. That's why it's very foreign to Ambassador Lacanilaw. Hindi naman ho madaling malaman yan until ho pinaliwanag yan ni Justice Ascuna sa atin.
Ay,
magkaiba po talaga ang pagtingin.
Hindi naman kailangan maliwanagan national. Sabi naman national ang liwanag naman po nun. Balikan na lang natin si General Torre. General Torre, ano ba talaga yung dahilan kung bakit nagmamadali? Sinabi mo na hindi naman...
Madam Chair, you have ruled already the citing contempt. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, if
yes,
you may...
the ambassador is cited in contempt. I'm sorry. Yes, General Torre, please, we'd like you to be a little bit more forthright and straightforward. What was the real reason for the rush? You yourself said this was an arrest with a warrant. Therefore, no reglementary period as articulated by Article 125 applies. Bakit kayo nagmamadali? Eto nga, may sakit yung tao.
Ma'am, I don't have that impression na nagmamadali ako. I waited for 12 hours. I worked for 12 hours to make sure that he boards on the plane. Yung purpose namin is to bring him to the plane because that's the order. That's my order and that's my mission. So,
who gave you the order?
Sir.
Who gave you the order?
The Chief of the Philippine National Police, sir.
The Chief PNP. You are giving orders to the CIDG. Who gave you that order?
Sir, I'll invoke my executive privilege.
Bakit executive privilege po? Paano naging executive privilege po? Nangyari na, tapos na Sino nag-order?
Ano yung tanong, ma'am?
Po?
Can I know the question? Kasi before we continue, ma'am, I'd like to ask for the consideration of the body because can we have a 2 minutes break so I can just whisper to you?
I'll give you the break very, very shortly, but in the meantime, can we just finish with Senator Bato's query? Oo, tapusin lang po natin tapos mag-break po tayo. Okay, si Senator Bato, please. May tinatanong yata siya kay Chief PNP. At ito ay may kinalaman sa chain of command lang naman. Pakaliwanag. Sinabi na naman ni DOJ...
That's executive privilege po. Basta usapan na po within the executive department. Hindi na ho namin pwedeng ilabas dito. I think those matters are matter of executive privilege.
Maliwanag
the decision-making process of the executive department, especially on the top level, kasama na po kami, ay executive privilege. But I have gone as far as saying, I gave the clearance.
Yes, you have.
Clearance, but not the order.
Well, it can be interpreted both ways, sir.
Well, klaruhin natin, sir. You gave the order or you gave the clearance
I gave the clearance to the SILG.
to the SILG?
Yes.
So meaning the SILG was the one who gave the orders to the Chief PNP?
Well, that's why we are citing executive privilege, because we do not want to be drawn into this long discussion.
Yes, I'm sorry it's so long, but it's also because certain witnesses have been so evasive. Arresting the president or the former president is not a quintessential and non-delegable power of the president, di ba? Yun ang maliwanag sa Senate versus Ermita. Wala namang information that's not available elsewhere. Kasi pinag-usapan na ni General Torre na nautusan siya ni Chief PNP. So, ano yung problema sa executive privilege dito? Hindi naman kayo military o diplomatic corps, hindi naman diplomatic communications to ng Pilipinas at ICC. Wala naman kaming tinatanong sa ganon. Bakit hindi masagot yan? Maliwanag naman po yung Supreme Court at may limitasyon naman yung executive privilege. Tinatanong lang, sino nag-utos? Paano ba na?
Ano kasi, decision-making process po ng executive department ay mahirap pong ilabas lahat ng nangyayari. Ito yung purpose ng executive privilege. That's the purpose, that's the reason why this doctrine was ruled, was drawn by the Supreme Court in the different cases. Kasi
Yes, that's right.
ang internal deliberations po ng cabinet at top-level leadership ay hindi po talaga pinag-uusapan. I think that we should give it to each other. Yung caucus po ng Senate, hindi po pinag-uusapan yan. I was once as chief of staff, I witnessed a caucus of the senators, but I never spoke about it in my whole life because that is the way it works.
In Senate
Kasi kung meron po naging
Secretary Remulla, in Senate versus Ermita, it's very clear that General Torre is not covered by the claim of executive privilege. Arresting a person is not a quintessential and non-delegable power of the president. It's very clear. He's not a cabinet member. He's not even the chief PNP. And it's not like this information isn't available elsewhere.
And if it's available elsewhere, then we do not need the answer from him, Madam Senator.
We will let it go. Partida na lang. Marami tayong linggo na binigay ito. Pero sana mabigyan ninyo kami ng konting linaw kung bakit nagmamadali tayo ilabas ang dating Pangulo.
Madam Chair, ang sa akin lang ito, gusto ko bigyan ng DN is not really on the arrest.
Yes.
Yung pagbiyahe talaga, yung pagsakay ng eroplano, dinala sa dahig. Okay lang restuhin nyo. Dalhin ninyo sa competent court. I-surrender nyo sa RTC. Ipakulong ninyo dyan sa krami. Pero yung dinala, sinakay kaagad sa eroplano, very much premeditated na plano. Kaya gusto naman...
Which should not be discussed in the open at all.
Executive session?
I do not believe in executive sessions, sir, because
Yes.
I've experienced it here and in the House. Habang nag-executive session, may lumalabas na hong information, kaya wag na lang po.
But you requested for a 2-minute suspension. We
Yes,
hereby
yes.
suspend
Please,
for 2
please.
minutes for biological and other matters the hearing. Yes,
May I?
Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa.
There is an issue about executive privilege.
Yes.
According to this committee, only cabinet level ang merong executive privilege. But according to the Secretary of Justice, covered daw na executive privilege, pati yung Chief PNP. Andito man si Justice Ascuna. Pwede bang malaman, sir, yung opinion mo tungkol dito? About executive privilege? Kung sino ang covered? Up to what level yung covered ng executive privilege? Kasi baka mamaya, yung patrolman na imbestigahan namin dito next time, hihingi ng executive privilege. So gusto ko na sana kung meron kang may ma-share sa amin na opinion, sir, as to this matter. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, you recognize Justice Ascuna. We need your help.
Your Honors, when we were drafting the Constitution, present Constitution, we were thinking of adopting some portions of a parliamentary system like the question hour, so that the members of the cabinet will be obliged to answer questions before committees of Congress. But we could not agree on the specifics, I think, but there is some element of the parliamentary system that we're able to introduce. But we also acknowledge, because we follow the presidential system, executive privilege. So we have a question hour. You can oblige members of the cabinet to appear before you, but they can also claim executive privilege. Now, whether sub-cabinet levels can invoke the privilege, I think they can if they do so as representatives of their cabinet members. In other words, what you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly. So if you cannot question the cabinet member, you cannot get the answer by questioning his undersecretary, in my view. So it depends whether or not the question really is something that pertains to the work, sensitive work of the cabinet member.
Thank you, sir.
To your mind, sir, the orders to the Chief PNP, therefore, are executive privilege. Is that correct?
They partake of functions that pertain to national security, so they might be subject to privilege. It is, I think, in case of doubt, we should decide in favor of the privilege because of the because of the presidential system that we have. So the parliamentary elements are an exception. So in case of doubt, you decide in favor of the rule against the exception.
That's right. Thank you, Honorable Ascuna. And perhaps we go to another topic, and that is that as important as the details of the actual arrest of PRRD are the events which took place prior to this. Firstly, the Quadcom hearings, the arrival of the ICC personnel in the country, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, the DOJ task force and case buildup. Let's tackle them in chronological order. The Quadcom started in August, and among the most important witnesses discovered by the Quadcom were those testimonies of Reina Garma and Leonardo. Is that right? That became a pivotal prosecutor. Would you like to assay an opinion? Mahalaga po yun, yung dalawa, no?
Yes. Again, good afternoon, Madam Chair. Yes, you are correct, Madam Chair, in pointing out that Reina Garma was one of those witnesses called in the Quadcom committee hearing, and her testimony in that Quadcom committee was one of the more important highlights of the investigation. There were other witnesses who were called, I believe.
I think the Leonardo testimony was also very crucial.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
And they identified an individual called Muking Peter Parungo, among others. Is that correct? With a bank account where allegedly the incentives to policemen were deposited.
I believe that was mentioned, Madam Chair.
Yes. Okay. And SOJ thereafter urged the DOJ to cooperate and assist with the Quadcom in providing all the testimonies necessary. Is that correct, Secretary Remulla?
Yes, ma'am. And in fact, we have written communication with each other on this matter.
Is that so? I'm
Yes.
only aware of the Department Order 778.
No, but with the Quadcom, it was a formal turnover of documents.
I see. The former president also appeared at the Quadcom noong November. Di ba napunta din siya dyan. Further, ICC personnel also have been coming to the Philippines. Is that not correct?
I have no knowledge of that. I have no personal knowledge.
Yes, in the transcript of the first hearing, I believe you said that you have no knowledge that, as a matter of fact, labas-pasok. Parang ganun yung sinabi nyo, labas-pasok ang mga dayuhan sa Pilipinas, di natin alam kung sino-sino na yan. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Nasabi ba yan?
Oo, tama po yan.
Oo, tama ba yung sinabi ninyo dati?
Opo, yun po sinabi ko.
Okay. Pwede ba natin ipakita yung binigay ng Bureau of Immigration na nagsidatingan yung ICC personnel noong October ng last year. Ang unang dumating ay isang interpreter na ang balita may koneksyon sa Pilipinas, Maya Destura Bracken, US citizen, dumating ng October 4. Interpreter ng ICC. May dumating na hindi ko sigurado kung narito pa kasi ang balita umiikot dito sa iba't ibang luxury hotels. William Rosato, ang balita British siya, dumating October 15, abogado ng ICC. Hindi naman po sikreto to kasi nung hinanap ko yung mga pangalan, nandun naman at naka-LinkedIn na ICC sila. Nandito sila sa Pilipinas, yung flight details narito. Andito rin yung si Mr. Kasam, Canadian, dumating dito at siya rin ay security expert. Ganon din, dumating rin dito Mr. Kala, British, October 24, investigador. Hindi po ninyo alam to, parang natanggap ko lang to sa Bureau of Immigration, sa pagkaintindi ko nasa ilalim po ninyo.
Nung panahon na yun, ma'am, I had a gallbladder operation. So, I was indisposed for around 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
October po?
October. Opo.
Pero hanggang ngayon, nandito pa raw o kaaalis lamang. Halimbawa, si Mr. William Rosato. Mula October hanggang very recently yata, o baka narito pa. Nababalitaan ko umiikot dito
Wala hong nag-advise sa akin.
So,
at hindi ko naman kasi tinatanong na, sapagkat ang paniniwala ko talaga, labas-pasok lang ho talaga lang ang mga tao sa atin. At hindi naman pwedeng tanongin kung ICC sila o hindi.
Hindi naman pangkaraniwang tao to Talagang ICC investigator to. So, walang pake ang DOJ, hindi kayo interesado. ICC nang pinag-uusapan.
Ano ho yan unless meron po silang naging atraso sa bansa at meron silang ginawang illegal, ay wala ho tayong magagawa dahil sinusubukan po nating igalang talaga ang karapatan ng lahat.
Sinasabi ninyo na ganun, subalit mukhang may proposed agenda sila para magbigay ng mga dokumento, affidavit, mga post-mortem record. Somebody clearly arranged for their accommodations and transport, hindi po ba? Alam nga naman nag-grab car yan, o 3 sakay ng jeep para umabot sa batasan. Kasi sa batasan sila di ba? Alam nga naman na alam nila, mga British, mga American, nakakakuha sila ng dokumento sa mga presinto. Hindi nga namin makuha, mga senador kami.
Ano ho kasi, ang mga dayuhan po na kagaya po nila, sa nationalities nila, visa-free po yan for 30 days.
Oo, alam kong visa-free, pero alam nila pumunta sa iba't ibang presinto sa Caloocan, alam nila hagilapin yung mga tao sa Batasan Hills, at higit sa lahat, tinulungan sila ng pulis para kumuha ng mga PNP documents. May alam ba kayo, General Torre, Chief Marbil?
Malamang po, kung tatanungin niyo po ako dyan, kung may alam akong maaring tumutulong sa kanila, marahil may kilala po akong tumutulong sa kanila. Isang pari po na matagal ko ng kaibigan na tumutulong sa kanila.
Hindi, kasi ang liwaliwanag, andito sa screen, hinihingi nila yung mga testigo, yung documentation, mga police blotter, mga ebidensya. Hindi yan binibigay sa miski sinong turistang tumatambay. Tinulungan talaga sila, di ba?
Hindi po ang DOJ ang tumutulong sa kanila.
Sino kaya ang tumutulong? Baka naman si Chief PNP Marbil, alam niyo kung sino tumulong. Dahil nakakuha sila eh. Pati mga ospital, nakadali sila ng mga confidential records kung sino-sino ang DOA na dumating sa East Avenue. Sinong tumulong sa kanila para hagilapin lahat ito? Kasi hindi naman na makapanipaniwala isang British, Canadian, Amerikano, nakakaikot sila, sisipot sila sa presinto, ibibigay ng pulis lahat ng dokumento.
Marami ho kasing civil society organizations na tumutulong talaga sa kanila.
Eh di ba yan din nga ang reklamo nila, hindi sila binibigyan ng dokumento ng pulis? Baka si Chief Marbil, may alam po ba kayo? Bakit binibigay lahat itong hinihingi?
Madam
Police
Chair.
blotter, seized evidence, radio transmissions. Naku, talaga, tactical operations na to, ang bigat Tapos yung drug operation details, total number during the time period. Yan ang hiningi nila sa Batasan Hills eh. Tapos ibinigay naman. Ba't po nagkaganon? Kadali-dali sa kanila.
Madam Chair,
Hirap na hirap po kami dito sa Senado kumuha ng mga ebidensya katulad niyan.
Madam Chair, during my time as Chief of the Philippine National Police, I have no request coming from the ICC to give any information regarding this matter.
Si Executive Director Alcantara, alam po ninyo na may humihingi ng kung ano-anong papeles? ICC, nagtanong ba sila? Meron pang bank records di ba? May bank
I'm sorry,
secrecy
Madam,
tayo.
I am not privy to any of these
All these requests. Hindi nakakapagtaka kasi yung agenda na ibinigay ng ICC na pagkatagal-tagal nila rito at saka detalyado to ay hindi biro-biro, Police Station 6, Batasan Hills, QC. Lahat ng blotter, seized evidence, etc. Paano nila na-pinpoint yung ICC, na-pinpoint yung Police Station 6 sa Batasan Hills? Ang galing naman po nila, kararating pa lang sila sa Pilipinas, alam na nila lahat ng lugar.
I think it's the Committee on Human Rights before the Quadcom that came out with the Station 6 reports. If I recall it right, I think it was Congressman Abante who was chairing that hearing.
Tinulungan daw sila ng Colonel Romil Abenido, tao yata ni General Torre, tama ba yun? Doon sa Batasan Hills, sa Station 6, nung QCPD daw kayo, tao ninyo, tama ba yun?
Madam Chair, in the next hearing, can we require the presence of that Colonel Abenido?
Kasi yun ang tinuturo at yun ang nabanggit ng ICC. Kilala po ba ninyo si Colonel Romil Abenido po, General Torre?
Romil Avenido is the station commander of Police Station 1 when I was the QCPD district director, ma'am. He was transferred to Station 6.
That's right.
I'm not the district director.
That's right. He was then transferred to Station 6. And you can't just walk into a police station and start demanding all sorts of documents. And who liaised with them? Sinong nagbantay sila sa kanila? Alam ko na may mga magagandang sasakyan sila. Paikot-ikot sila. May security pa sila. Ang balita, police pa nga nagbabantay. So siya rin ba yan, Chief PNP?
Madam Chair, during my time, I have no request coming from the ICC or any from, so I have no idea about it.
Sinasabi niyo during my time, kailan ba kayo naging Chief PNP?
Ma'am, April 2024.
Oo, ito, October 2024. Yung iba na natili rito hanggang, palagay ko, yung iba aalis lang o kundi, narito pa. Matagal
that
sila.
is,
So
Madam
it's
Chair,
during your time po.
that is already during his time.
It's very much your
October
time.
na yun
Madam Chair, with that, I have no idea and have no request coming from the ICC po.
But sino nagbigay ng security? Na police?
Sir, I have practically no idea po, sir.
Sigurado po kayo? Kasi nakakuha rin sila ng medical records, may financial records, police records, forensic evidence. Medical records are confidential, alam naman natin lahat yan. Paano nila nakukuha lahat yan, pati CCTV? Paano nila nakuha? At very precise ang pagkakuha, ang dali-dali. Sinong tumulong sa ICC sa palagay ninyo? Wala ba kayong suspecha o alam kung sino?
Ma'am, Madam Chair, we will just investigate, but I have really no idea regarding this matter.
Si General Torre, pinuno ng CIDG. Siguro alam niya, kapag may tao na nagtatanong sa mga presinto, sa mga ospital, hindi ka ba magdududa, mga dayuhan pa man din? Hindi ka ba magtataka na patanong-tanong? Siyempre, alamin mo, ano ba nangyayari dyan? Ba't nakikialam? Hindi mo ba naramdaman na andito na yung mga dayuhan, tanong na ng tanong, ang dami-daming hinihinging ebidensya? Sino tumulong sa kanila?
That is why, Madam Chair, I move that certain Colonel Abinido be required to be present in the next hearing.
Ganon. At may nababalitaan kami, may Mark Diskay daw na alalay nila. Tapos, at ang balita ko, nagkaproblema pa sila dahil doon sa Forbes Park may umihi yata at nagalit yung mga kapitbahay. Kaya ako lang narinig to kasi mga VIP daw, kaya hindi daw pwedeng guluhin. Wala kayong nababalita ang ganyan? Yung tungkol sa pagtitipon, pagkakaladkad sa iba't ibang testigo dyan sa Midas Hotel, may mga important individuals, mga VIP rin, na ini-interview nila 3 oras minsan. Hindi rin nyo napapansin.
Madam Chair, I have no idea regarding this matter.
May balita na si dating Senador Trillanes, may ganun din. Si Ambassador Lacanilaw, meron ba kayo alam dito? Kasi hindi rin namin alam to. May alam ba kayo kung sino ang tumulong sa ICC?
Wala ma'am, wala ma'am. Wala ho akong knowledge regarding sa ICC on their dito status nila dito o kung
So walang may alam kung sino tumulong sa ICC. Pero tinulungan sila ng todo. At sigurado ako na may suspecha siguro tayo. Sinong tumulong sa ICC? Andyan yung NSC, laki-laki ng budget sa Intel. May Intel funds AFP, may Intel funds lahat ng PNP. Ang laki ng confidential fund, Office of the President, may NICA. Sa lahat nito, sa bilyon-bilyon na inaalat namin sa Confidential and Intelligence Fund, hindi ninyo naramdaman kailanman na nandito na yung ICC October pa na nakaraang taon. Tama po ba? Walang may alam sa anuman, sa ating DOJ, sa ating PNP, CIDG, higit sa lahat, wala kayong nakikita kahit kinukunan na tayo ng kung ano-anong ebidensya at mga confidential papers. Wala kayong alam.
Madam Chair, for the PNP, we didn't get any request coming from ICC to help them regarding the evidence that they need.
Okay, tignan natin. Sige, let's head on. Una, may Quadcom. Ikalawa, yung Senate Blue Ribbon. Ikalawa, yung ICC mismo napunta rito. Ikatlo, meron pang Senate Blue Ribbon. Naalala nyo, napunta rito si Presidente Duterte noong October at nagtestigo. Kaya lang walang sumipot kina Garma, Leonardo at Kerwin Espinosa. Diba? Yun yung nangyari sa Senate Blue Ribbon. Maliban doon, ika-4, may DOJ case build-up. At naaalala ko, eto na naman yung memo natin na nagkaroon ng task force on 4 November, already alluded to by our prosecutor, to cooperate with the Quadcom. Am I citing this correctly, Prosecutor Fadulion, please?
What we have, Madam Chair, was a department order issued by the Secretary of Justice creating the task force which would look into the investigation which was being undertaken by the Quadcom at the time and following the leads and working with the law enforcement authorities to try and come up with the possibility of reviving these old or cold cases. So yun po yung department order na nag-create noon at binigyan po sila ng 6 na pong araw base dun sa unang department order na nilabas para mag-submit ng kanilang initial findings.
Dumating dito yung ICC October, biglang-bigla, November 4, nagkaroon kayo ng task force. Ang ICC ba ay humingi ng tulong sa DOJ?
Wala po, categorically I will say, Madam Chair, na wala pong lumapit na taga-ICC sa amin, sa Department of Justice, para humingi ng tulong patungkol dito sa mga investigasyon
At hindi
na ginagawa
naman kayo
namin.
nag-volunteer na tulungan yung mga ICC na
Wala
narito?
po kaming maibo-volunteer kasi hindi naman po namin alam kung sinong kakausapin at wala po nakipag-ugnayan sa amin.
Kasi may ibang nagsasabi that the task force was supposed to pick up where the ICC could possibly have left off. Tama ba yun?
Hindi po. Ang sinundan po ng task force dyan, tulad po ng binanggit ko kanina, yung mga resulta ng investigasyon at impormasyon na nakuha at nakalap ng ating Quadcom Committee. So katulad po nun, halimbawa yung kaso ni Barayuga, so sinundan po yon base doon sa testimony nila Garma. And then, meron pa hong tiningnan na ibang leads doon at doon po sila nagsimula magtanong at kumausap ng mga testigo on their own. Wala po silang coordination with the ICC.
So, ang coordination lang ninyo, katulad ng binanggit ni Secretary Remulla kanina, yung Quadcom, yung Senate, yung binabanggit sa 778, yung CHR, at yung iba pang PNP, Witness Protection, yung iba pang ahensya ng ating pamahalaan. Tama po ba?
Tama po yan, Madam Chair.
So, sa panahong to, meron ng tatlong separate bodies trying to pin down PRRD. May Quadcom, may ICC, may DOJ Task Force, may ikaapat pa, yung Senate. So, apat na sila.
Yung DOJ Task Force ho was really to check on EJ case. Period. Wala ho kaming aim of pinning down PRRD. Wala ho yan. Hindi ho totoo yan.
Pero EJK ang tinutumbok, kaya siya nagtestigo sa Quadcom, di po
Opo,
ba?
opo. Kasi, ma'am, karapatan po ng bawat Pilipinong maghanap ng hustisya eh. Kahit mahirap sila, kahit wala silang station in life, pag sila ho ay naapi, naghahanap po ng hustisya. Kaya kung meron ho silang nilapitan na taong nakakausap namin, syempre pinakikinggan po namin. At yung mga tao mismo na nangangailangan ng tulong, sinisikap po naming tulungan.
Siyempre, hindi natin pinagkakait ang karapatan ng bawat isa. Matanda man, bata man, mahirap man, mayaman man, talagang pantay-pantay tayo sa harap ng batas. Kaya lang, nagtataka ako kasi napakarami na ng investigasyon, patong-patong. Meron pang CHR, di po ba? At in-interview si Richard Palpalawatok ng DOJ Task Force. Nasa inyong record yata, Laila De Lima, Nery Colmenares. Tama po ba? Na-interview yan ng DOJ.
Opo, opo.
Ano nangyari at bakit po na-interview?
Sila po ay in-interview batay po dun sa, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung mga lumabas po dun sa Quadcom hearings, ma'am. So,
pinagtatakaan lang namin dahil hindi naman sila victim o testigo o kamag-anak ng alleged victim ng EJK. Ang pagkakilala ko lang sa kanila, katunggali ni PRRD, yun lang.
If I may answer, ma'am, no? Yung may mga binanggit kayong pangalan, katulad po ni Richard Palpalatok, binanggit niyo rin po si Senator Laila De Lima. Maaring tama po kayo dun sa inyong sinabi.
May nagsabi lang sa DOJ at nakita ko may anunsyo yata sa inyong website somewhere.
Oho, pero hindi lamang po sila ang kinausap. Marami po ang kinausap. Andiyan dyan po yan si Father Flavie Villanueva. Bakit po siya kinausap? Dahil meron po siyang mga grupo ng mga naging biktima ng karahasan na kinausap at kailangan makausap ng ating mga prosecutors. Andiyan din po si PNP Chief Romel Marbil na kinausap din po namin upang kami po ay mabigyan ng tawag nito, impormasyon hinggil dun sa mga kaso na gustong tingnan at imbestigahan hinggil sa EJK. So, ito po ay kinausap upang makunan po ng leads para kung meron pong mga kaso na gustong isampa na walang ebidensya noon, maari pong buhayin.
Kahit hindi sila yung biktima, hindi sila yung pamilya, o hindi sila testigo sa anumang krimen?
Opo, kasi kahit na anong impormasyon po na makuha namin ay tinuturing po namin mahalaga at makakatulong po doon sa investigasyon na gagawin po ng task force.
So, ibig sabihin, nung end of the year ng nakaraan, meron ng legal team daw ng DOJ drafting a complaint for murder under RA 9851 for the deaths of 3 persons in the Davao Prison and Penal Farm. In coordination nga ito doon sa Quadcom.
I'm not so particular, ma'am. I can get that information kung meron na pong complaint na na-prepare. No? Pero malalaman po natin, sa ngayon po, wala pa pong naisasampa sa amin, sa pagkakaalam ko. Pero kung meron na pong preparation yung task force, I'm sure they will submit it to us po.
Ma'am, we found it necessary. Kinailangan po magtayo kami ng task force for EJ case. Sapagkat nung turn over sa amin ng Quadcom yung kanilang mga findings, we could not rely on them for being just incomplete. Kasi hindi ho talaga kompleto to make a case. Kaya kailangan po i-case build up. That's the reason why we put up the task force, ma'am.
Pero ang balita ko, at may nakita akong draft na March 6, yung task force ninyo humihingi pa ng 60 days para matapos yung investigasyon. Pero hindi binigay itong request na to. March 6 to kung 60 days abot pa tayo ngayon. Was the DOJ aware that the ICC was going to issue a warrant already, so 60 days was unnecessary?
Hindi po, hindi ho kasama sa usapan niya kasi yung 60 days po,
yung additional
kaya
60
po
days?
sabi ho sa akin na isang prosecutor, sumulat siya sa akin, iyan po verbally ho, sinabihan ko pwede na naman extend na 60 days. Kasi nga, mahirap po talaga magagilap ng mga kaso na matagal na ho nangyari. Ang sabi ko nga nung isang beses, wala nga mga police report, wala nga mga blatter ang marami. Mahirap ho itong trabaho namin na gumawa ng kaso at
palibhasa nga napakahirap at saka mga cold case na yan at nakaraan na yung taon-taon, bakit pinagpilitan at hindi binigay yung 60 days na hinihiling?
Hindi, binigay po namin ng 60 days, kaya lang hindi na kami sumulat. Ito'y verbal na lang.
Pero March 6, 60 days, aabot pa yan ng ilang buwan? Yes, Prosecutor Fadulion. March 6 yung sulat
Yes, kung ako po'y pahihintulutan ninyo. Ito po yung naka-flash dito sa screen ngayon, Madam Chair. That is a bogus document. That is not a real document because there is no such document which contains exactly what is highlighted there. Yan po ang totoo. Ang meron po kami...
So, saan galing yan? Sino si Abugan?
Herbert Calvin Abugan is the OIC Senior Deputy State Prosecutor of the Department of Justice. He heads the task force.
So totoong tao siya?
Totoong tao po siya.
Totoong
tao po siya. Yung dokumento po ang hindi totoo. Dahil sa, kung titingnan niyo po, Madam Chair, wala hong pirma yan. Kung yan po ay totoong memorandum na nakalusot at nakarating doon sa kinauukulan, dapat po pirmado yan.
So binaliwala na lang to at para sa ating lahat, sinasabi niyo peke to.
Manufactured po ito kasi po pinaghalo-halo nila yung nilalaman po niyan. Yung sinasabi po ninyong hinihingi na extension na 60 days, kaya nga po, hindi nga po totoo yung dokumento. Pero